here is I'm going to start on this wall right here. Now this wall right here measures 5 feet and a half inch from stud to stud, and my cement board is 5 feet exactly. I'm going to lay all of my cement board on this wall, laying the length. So they're 3x5 sheets, so I'm going to come up 3 feet, which is going to be right about in here. And then this is the length is how we're going to do that. I'm going to turn the cement board on this wall, and I'm going to go up, and it's 5 feet, and it lands to about right there. But basically what I'm saying is, because this wall is 5.5 inches, or 5 feet and a half inch, I'm going to start on this wall to make up for that ½ inch. And so by the time I get to this wall, I'll have to score a little bit off of one of the ends to get it to fit in there for the 5 feet. And then we'll finish up with this wet wall over here. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to measure, and you want to measure it so it has a little bit of a gap in there so you're not tight. And we're looking at 32.25, and it's pretty consistent all the way up. Jumps up a little bit there to 5/16. Okay, so what I'm actually just going to do is I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off. That allows me 1/8 of an inch here, and then another 1/8 of an inch gap back here, so I don't have to force my cement board in there. And so I'm going to cut this 32, and I just subtracted a 1/4 inch is all I did. Alright, so what we have here is, when we look inside and we're going to go along the sheetrock edge there where we're going to feather it out, I want to put this end towards that feather, because that end shrinks down a little bit just like sheetrock does. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark 32 inches. Down here also 32 inches. Now you can use a T-square. I got a straight edge here that's 6 feet long. That's what I'm going to use. I'm also going to use the T-square. But you just line it up if you have a straight edge. So I just lined up the marks, and I'm just going to lightly score, holding my straight edge, making sure that my straight edge does not move. You can score once, you can score twice, but I got through because I got a pretty decent blade in here the first time. Then you just take it and you snap it down, just like you would sheetrock. Maybe you can see this. I just took it, snapped it down. Now I just take my utility knife and I run it right down to cut that off, and it comes right off. And then what I do is I'll kind of score off where it needs to be taken off a little bit with my knife. Make them nice and smooth here so it stays the 32 inches and not more. And that's how you can do it. You can use something else. I got this little hook that I use, but so that's it with that. We'll bring this in and see how she fits. Okay, you can see right here we got this lip of the tub. Now if I try to go on this side of the lip, what's going to happen is it's going to bow out. So I'm actually going to ride right on top of here, and then later on we're going to fill this. Now a lot of bathtubs have this type of a lip here, except it would be down here farther. And you just want to make sure that you're going to not have that be part of an issue with your cement board when you're putting it in, because it will transfer out to your tile. Slide this in. Whoops. Okay, let's do that again. Okay. Just slide this in. And now this lip, you can see, is going right here against the sheetrock. So now I have a little bit of a gap there, or a bevel, so that I can fill this in nicely. And now I'm using cement board screws and I'm sinking them in. Because you don't want to have a screw sticking out because it will tilt your tile. So you want to make sure you get that in nice and flush. And sink it actually a little bit. Now if you have a spot where the cement board breaks or chips out, you want to just get that out because we can just fill that then with some thin set later on. You just want to find your studs, and then we're going to measure, mark them, and then we'll draw some lines to be able to see exactly where they're at. Okay, so I know that I have one here, which actually goes all the way to there. I got another one here. I got one here, and there. So 10. If I go from the sheetrock, it's 10, 25 and a half. Make another mark down here. $25 and a half. Now you could also mark these studs maybe on the tub here and with a pencil. That's going to get covered up anyway before you go along, so you know exactly where they're at. But we'll just draw some lines here and then we'll put some screws every 8 inches. So now I'm just going to take it, I'm going to measure again, and I know I'm still at the 32 1/4 because I measured all the way up to the ceiling, but now I want to see what this is. And we're looking at about 16 3/4 of an inch big. And it's the same down here, so we're pretty level. So 16 3/4 of an inch big means a 1/16 over 3/4 of an inch. It can be a 1/2 inch big, it could be a 1/4 inch big, it's just a 1/16 over. And then like 3/4 inch small means a 1/16 of an inch less than 3/4 of an inch or a 1/2 inch, whatever you're going to say. 16 1/4 small or 16 3/4 small, whatever it would be. But anyway, that's just some trade talk. So we need 16 3/4 big for an exact measurement. And I do want to have this tight somewhat in a gap up there so I can fit it in there nicely. So I'm just going to cut this at 16 5/8. Okay.